vegetarian? Are you plant-based? What's plant forward? I just use plant-based, or excuse me, plant forward, because it takes some of the restriction off of being a vegan or being a vegetarian. Ooh, my power is low. It takes a little bit of a restriction off of that. I enjoy food, but I realized over time that the foods that I was eating, they weren't working for me. Headaches, I was getting sluggish. I've always had bad allergies, but it got to a point where I had allergies all year round. You know, I'm waking up blowing my nose, I'm sniffling, I'm continuing to use the Flonase, all of these things. I got tired of doing all of that. I got tired of going to the doctor and all of my levels were low. They would take my blood, and every year I would go, it would be like, your vitamin D is low, your iron is low, all of those things. Once I went gluten-free, all of that changed for me as far as my blood work. My blood work dramatically improved. I remember going, I think it was for the first time in 2024, I went to the doctor after I first went gluten-free, and all of my blood work was normal. And that was the first time in my entire adult life that any of my blood work has been normal. And it felt good. I noticed that my energy was different. I noticed the mucus that I had was no longer there. I noticed that my bowel movements were regular. One of the biggest things that I really, really enjoyed and really was like, okay, you need to stick to this, was me having clear skin. So when I was growing up in my teenage years, I always had clear skin, always. But during those years, I was also on birth control. Well, when I got into my 20s, got married, and decided that I wanted to start having children, I got off the birth control. And immediately, all of the acne...
In 1 mile, keep left onto Moyton Avenue.
Keep left. Okay, sorry, I'm driving. Anyway, got off the birth control. My face erupted in acne. And this whole time I'm thinking like, oh, well, it's just me being in my 20s. Even one of my aunts was like, oh, that's just your body letting you know you're ready for a baby. But it just continued on. Even after I had my second child, I still had this adult acne. I could not figure out why. I didn't know if it was soap, if I was putting makeup on my face. I was wearing braids a lot at the time. I was like, maybe it's the Kanekalon hair. I didn't know what it was. But it turns out it was sugar. It was sugar. I had no business eating sugar. And I used to have what I used to call, for my kids when they were younger, I used to have...
Use the left lane to keep left onto Moyton Avenue.
Okay, it's telling me to keep left. I would have what I called baking Sundays.
Keep left.
Where I would just bake all day.
In 3.7 miles, turn right onto Pope Farm Road.
Okay, she's telling me where to go. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but I would have these baking
Stay in the left lane.
My God! Let me finish talking, lady! Anyway, I would have these baking Sundays. This was back when we lived in a whole other state than we live in now, and lunch wasn't free, so I would make my kids lunch and breakfast every day from scratch. So I would bake them all kinds of oatmeal cream pies, whoopie pies, muffins from scratch, cakes, just all kinds of different things. And as I'm cooking all these things and baking these things, I'm in there tasting and dibbling and dabbling and whatever I wanted. It was all that sugar that was causing me to break out. So that was one of the first things I eliminated from my diet. But even after I stopped eating the sugar...
Railway crossing ahead.
Y'all, this lady is rude. She is rude. I don't know if y'all can hear her. She keeps interrupting me. Anyway, after I stopped eating the sugar, my skin was still inflamed, and I couldn't figure out why. It wasn't until I stopped eating gluten years later that my skin finally decided to heal and clear up. All that gluten, all the pasta, the bread, baked goods, all of those things that have sugar in them that you think, oh, I'm not directly eating sugar. It's hidden in all of those things, and it was causing my acne. And so my skin dramatically improved, excuse me, when I stopped eating gluten. And that right there was the kicker for me, because I felt like I am a grown woman. I am in the professional world. And people knew that I ate well and I worked out, but I still had this damn acne and I could not figure out where it was coming from. And it didn't improve until I stopped eating the gluten. So once I stopped eating gluten and I noticed that my skin cleared up, that was it for me. I was like, oh, that's it. But then I just randomly noticed all of these other different things and ways that my body was healing from not having that gluten in my system. My energy levels, for one thing, improved, because I used to love a nap. I want to get into bed, you know what I'm saying, after I eat. I want to have my grits and eggs, my biscuits, you know, my pancakes, all of those things, and then I want to go crawl into bed. I don't need that anymore. I noticed that as soon as I stopped eating that gluten, I didn't need a nap. I could go on with the rest of my day. I would want to get in the car and take a nap at work at lunchtime. So that stopped. So that's just a snapshot of why I stopped. Like I said, I'm in the car. There's more ways. Ooh, my phone died. I'm so sorry, but my phone died. I was just saying all that to say that if this is something that affects you, to pay attention to it. I was just wrapping up and saying that these are conversations that we are going to continue to have on this channel, in this community, so that people don't have to go through the things that I went through. But it was just one of those occasions where I happened to be driving. Like I said, y'all know I am a faceless channel for the most part. I did start off making 2 videos with my face and then decided that I wanted to go faceless. But then today, as I was in my car, I decided that this was something that I wanted to share. So I was going to go ahead, come up on camera, messy hair, however, and let y'all know what it is that I wanted to say. And like I said, if y'all would like to see more content like this, or you would like to see me more in this sort of framework, then let me know and I will come to y'all like this more often. But yes, put away the gluten. It'll be another conversation for another time on that, and I can elaborate more on all of the symptoms and things I was going through. But that's it for today. I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I will talk to y'all later, and I appreciate you for watching. Have a good one.